Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is the finale race in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship. We are here at Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, France, for the 1 hour de Le Mans here. It is going to be a very interesting race because we are going to determine a champion in both classes here today. And it is the longest racetrack we are going to race at this season, an 8.4 mile road course. And tomorrow, the real 24-hour of Le Mans begins. And before that, we got ourselves our own little version of that race. Anyways, coming into the finale race here in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship, Cody Smart has led in the point standings the whole season. But he only has a 2-point lead coming into today's event. He has 86 points towards the championship. John Arndt is only 2 points behind him. And John Arndt starts a lot farther ahead than Cody Smart in this race. Dane Ammon also with a great chance as well. He is 4 points behind Cody Smart coming into today's event. And Alexander Rowe, the slim chance of winning the championship, is 13 points behind. In GT Daytona, Caleb Hoffman leads the points in that class, 138 points for him. He's looking for his first ever championship on Napa Fan, and he's going to be retiring here very shortly on the channel. And I'm pretty sure he really wants to get this championship, but he's going to have to hold off Eli Bright, Philip Goldberg. They're 8 and 9 points behind, respectively. And then guys like Jay Jefferson, Nathan Stapleton, they're both 23 points behind. Tristan Allen, 24 points behind, with slim chances at winning the championship in that class. Going to get these guys to roll off here at Circuit de la Sarthe because we're going to have a full pace lap here. And that's definitely going to take some time because this is an 8.4 mile long racetrack. But while we get this pace lap underway, we're going to discuss these championship scenarios. So, John Arndt in the number 2, the way they are currently running at the moment, before the start of this race, John Arndt would win the championship. He only needs to finish 2 positions ahead of Cody Smart. He can tie with Cody Smart and still have the tiebreaker on Cody Smart because John Arndt has finished. He would have to finish ahead of Cody Smart in this race. So that means that John Arndt would have finished ahead of Cody Smart in more races this season, and that is the second tiebreaker. Both John Arndt and Cody Smart have 2 wins this season, and they both have a good chance at winning the championship, being up there in the points. But John Arndt has the best chance in GT Le Mans right now because he starts a lot farther ahead than Cody Smart. You see Cody Smart back in here in the number 20. He starts last in the GT Le Mans field. Now, this is a 1 hour race. It's also part of the NRLOA Endurance Cup, and we will determine that at the end of the race. We're going to focus on the Drivers' Championship right now. That is the more important championship, and at the end of the day, we will determine the Endurance Cup Championship as well. I'm pretty sure it's Chris Skidmart leading in the points for the for the Endurance Cup, I should say. And he's got a pretty good starting position in this race as well. Anyways, down the GT Daytona, Caleb Hoffman is the points leader. He drives the number 43. He has won twice this season. He is the only driver to win 2 races so far this season in the Kubota GT Championship. And he just have to hold off Eli Bright and Philip Goldberg, and he's pretty much got it made. And Caleb Hoffman does start pretty far up in the field for GT Daytona. I believe it's about 8th or 9th in the class. So Caleb Hoffman with a great chance of winning his first ever championship here on Napa Fan, and he's been doing a fantastic job all season long in doing so. Where's Eli Bright? He was the points leader heading into the next to last race of the season at the Virginia International Raceway. And going to locate him here in the number 88. He is kind of midway through the GT Daytona field right now. But this is a 1 hour race, and a lot can happen between now and the finish. And these guys are going to definitely be fighting hard for this championship. Philip Goldberg also has a chance, and he starts 2nd in the GT Daytona field. And that could definitely play into this championship for GT Daytona. You see him right there in the number 55. And Philip Goldberg, a one-time winner this season. He won at Road America. He is going to have a chance at winning this championship over Caleb Hoffman. Anyways, I'm trying to get the NRLOA Endurance Cup points up here. Take me a little while, but we have the time to do so. And you see these guys kind of spreading out here. I do not know if anybody has an issue, but if somebody does fail to start the race, we will reset it so that everybody can start here in 1 hour de Le Mans. In the finale race in the Kubota GT Championship here on this Friday afternoon. Anyways, the starting lineup's going to roll on the bottom of your screen. It's Donovan Duthit in the number 7, starting alongside the number 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. Row number 2 sees John Arndt in the number 2, who has a very good chance at winning this championship. And if he finishes 2 positions ahead of Cody Smart and keeps Dane Ammon behind him, John Arndt will be the champion in the Kubota GT Championship for 2017. Alongside him, it's Chris Skinlart. And speaking of the NRLOA Endurance Cup, I have those up right now. Chris Skinlart is, in fact, the leader. And he has a 5-point lead ahead of Donovan Duthit, who starts on the pole for this race. It's actually going to be a 4-point lead because Donovan Duthit will get a bonus point towards the NRLOA Endurance Cup for starting on the pole. The top 10 finishers in each class receive points for the NRLOA Endurance Cup, with 10 points going to the winner, 9 points, 8 points, and so on. So we'll determine that at the end of the race. What we will be focusing on is the Drivers' Championship. In the Daytona NRLOA Endurance Cup, Philip Goldberg currently leads by 1 point ahead of William Brock. Goldberg in the number 55 does start very high up in the field, so he has a good chance at taking the NRLOA Endurance Cup here today. And so does Caleb Hoffman, though, as well. He is only 6 points behind Philip Goldberg in the Endurance Cup. Anyways, continue on with the starting lineup here for GT Le Mans. Is Josh Crash in the number 49, starting alongside the number 10 of Blaine Keys. Row number 4 sees our last winner in GT Le Mans, Jordan Carter, starting alongside Jordan Lopez. Row 5 is Emerson Sheets and Nicholas Samadio. And we go over to GT Daytona. The pole sitter for this class is Thomas Troxel in the number 71. We got Philip Goldberg, who has a chance at winning the Drivers' Championship, starting alongside the number 6 of number 6. That's Devin Cook in the number 6. And it's been like a month since I've done a race in this series, so I don't remember who's in what car. But that's Devin Cook in the number 6. Row number 3. That is Julio Cesar starting alongside Tristan Allen. And there's the points leader in GT Daytona, Caleb Hoffman in the number 43, starting alongside the number 98 of Tyler Lyman, who won the first race here in the Kubota GT Championship for 2017. It does appear that everybody is going to start, maybe with the exception of Nathan Stapleton. He does appear to have an issue, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. I've never done a full pace lap here at Le Mans, so I really don't know how these guys run a full pace lap, if they just kind of do all this odd stuff normally. But if somebody does fail to start, we will reset it so that everybody can start this race. But we're not going to go through the whole pace lap again, because it's obviously taking us quite some time. But anyways, in the point standings, Cody Smart, the points leader coming into this race, but John Arndt only needs to finish 2 positions ahead, and he starts much more than 2 positions ahead of Cody Smart in this race. So John Arndt looking to grab the championship in GT Le Mans, while Caleb Hoffman's trying to hold it off in GT Daytona. It's going to be a 1-hour race, 15 laps here at Circuit de la Sarthe for 1 hour de Le Mans. And these guys have waited 4 weeks for this finale race. The Road Atlanta race was canceled, and it turns out to be a 9-race season here for the Kubota GT Championship in 2017. Anyways, the pace cars pulled off. It was long gone before these guys got here. And through the final couple of corners, we're going to get the final race started in 2017 for the Kubota GT Championship. The green flag is out. We're racing at Circuit de la Sarthe. And Donovan Duthit pulls out to the early lead in GT Le Mans. GT Daytona is now the number 55 of Philip Goldberg. And the interesting thing with Goldberg is this: he is only 9 points behind Caleb Hoffman. You get the win, you get a bonus point towards the championship. So that would be 25 points for Goldberg if he finished where he is. But Hoffman in the number 43 is not too far behind. Hoffman would still win the championship, I do believe, in the way they're currently running. So it's Goldberg, Troxel, Devin Cook, that's Julio Cesar, and Tristan Allen in the top 5 in GT Daytona. I'm pretty sure everybody started this race And they did, so we're good. And this race is official. Heading into the first chicane down the backstretch. This is where things can get very crazy sometimes. One of the best passing opportunities is in this chicane. You're going to see Chris Skinlart in the number 4, who does lead in the Endurance Cup. Try to get to the inside of Fitzwater, and he is going to be able to do so. John Arndt better be careful, however. You know, he's got this championship in the bag right now. He just needs to finish 2 positions ahead of Cody Smart, and he's the champion. Of course, he's got to keep Dane Ammon behind him as well, but Ammon is also deep in the field, running 14th in the class. Caleb Hoffman in the outside wall in the first lap. The points leader in GT Daytona has crashed. And the unbelievable has happened for the number 43, Caleb Hoffman, on the verge of his first career Napa Fan Championship, is not going to finish the race. Philip Goldberg, I believe, has fallen to 2nd place, but Goldberg is now in the championship position for GT Daytona. Absolutely unbelievable what we have just witnessed. It was exiting the first chicane. I think Hoffman overshot the corner, and it clogged up the rest of these guys. That's either Julius Anderson or Marty Johnson. I believe that's Johnson in the number 33. What an unfortunate turn of events on the first lap of this finale race in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship. Jay Jefferson's all torn up in the 66, the Canadian Tire winner. The rest of these guys, I believe they just slowed down, so they should be good to go, but there is a big gap in the GT Daytona field because of that incident, and Eli Bright's back in here as well, so the way this one's going, it's going to be a battle between Eli Bright and Philip Goldberg, and right now Goldberg is driving away with it. That's a very unfortunate break for Caleb Hoffman, a 17-time winner on this channel. He's going to be retiring at the end of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series season number 6 in August. And unfortunately, it does not look like he's going to win the championship here now. Something could happen to Philip Goldberg in this race. Remember, Caleb Hoffman has a 9-point lead ahead of Goldberg. And if Goldberg does happen to have an issue at some point throughout this race, Hoffman might pull away with the championship. Elijah Gordon is right now the last place guy in the Le Mans field right now. Cody Smart's 14th, and John Arndt in the number 2 is running 4th. That's exactly what John Arndt wants. Just race it cleanly, and do not do what Caleb Hoffman did, and you should win the championship. But that is a tough break for Caleb Hoffman. He came into this race the points leader in GT Daytona, and most likely he's going to lose the championship on the final race of the season. And another thing here, we got Cody Smart in the number 20. He has led in the point standings the whole season. In the 2015 Verizon IndyCar Series, the real IndyCar Series, I should say, when Pablo Montoya led in the points the whole season. Oh, we had a big crash. Alexander Rowe, and that's Jordan Lopez over the tires and in the catch fence. Now, none of the championship contenders, Alexander Rowe did have a chance, but he was very far behind. But none of the high-up championship contenders were involved in this crash, but I'm assuming one of these guys overshot that final corner, and chaos ensued. Jordan Lopez and Alexander Rowe in the pit lane. What an eventful first lap here at Circuit de la Sarthe for the finale race in the Kubota GT Championship. And that's good news for Cody Smart. He's going to gain a couple of positions because of that. But John Arndt is still very far ahead in the number 2. But as I was about to say with Cody Smart, in the 2015 Verizon IndyCar Series, Juan Pablo Montoya, I'm fairly sure he led in the points the whole season up until the finale race, where he lost the championship lead on a tiebreaker from Scott Dixon, who had more wins than him in that season. We could see that very same scenario here today in GT Le Mans, and John Arndt, he's in the position to win the championship right now. The way they're running, John Arndt would be the champion. But Cody Smart in the number 20, he's led in the points all season long. He does not want to let it slip. And we're just going to have to see how he figures this race out. It's still a very long race here at Circuit de la Sarthe. So we're just going to have to see if that number 20 can move his way through the field. We're going to have pit stops in this race as well. So just keep that in mind. Those are definitely going to affect who wins in today's event. Jay Jefferson coming down the pit lane in GT Daytona. He was involved in the crash with Caleb Hoffman and Marty Johnson. See those guys in the pit lane. Those guys are done for the day. And Same with the 15 and the 8 in GTLM and GTD. They had a massive crash exiting the final corner. Remember, we don't have cautions in the Kubota GT Championship because we race on only road courses. And when we have cautions on road courses, it's just not that interesting. Now, here's something that is interesting. The NRLOA Endurance Cup. The top 2 guys in points of this championship are right now running 1-2. Donovan Duthit started on the pole. He gets a bonus point. But Chris Skinlart's right behind him. So the way they're currently running for the NRLOA Endurance Cup, Chris Skinlart would still win it. Because Donovan Duthit, he would gain 11 points towards the championship, towards the Endurance Cup, I should say, not the actual Drivers' Championship. But Duthit would gain 11 points towards the NRLOA Endurance Cup, while Skinlart would gain 9, where he is currently running. Skinlart has 18 points, and Donovan Duthit has 13 points. There's a 5-point gap. Duthit would only gain 2 points on Skinlart. So the way they're currently running, Chris Skinlart would win the NRLOA Endurance Cup for GTLM. And the way they're currently running in Daytona, it would be Philip Goldberg sweeping the Drivers' Championship and the NRLOA Endurance Cup, as Goldberg runs second right now here in this race. Thomas Troxel, the number 71, did get around him, and Troxel leads the field in GT Daytona right now with Goldberg, Julio Caesar, Devin Cook, and Tristan Allen, the top 5 in GT Daytona. Right now, these guys basically waiting to get these pit stops, these first set of pit stops underway. I don't know what the fuel window is for this race. I don't have too many races at this racetrack, so I'm not too accustomed to how that could be. Matter of fact, I don't think I've had a fuel race here at Le Mans since we did that special event all the way back in 79, or excuse me, the 59 around there. And that's going to hold up John Arndt in the number 2. See all these guys bunching up behind him. But I was about to say, we have not had a fuel race here since we did that special event in 2015. That was a 1-hour race. See Cody Smart back in here. Elijah Gordon's coming down the pit lane. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled pit stop or not. He might have damage to his race car. No, it is a scheduled pit stop for Elijah Gordon. And they could be trying to do some strategy here. Come in early, so they don't have to come in later. Tristan Allen also coming down the pit lane as well. See some other guys coming down. Emmanuel Hartnett, and that is the number 3 of Dale Salzman. Got to remember who's in what car here. Like I said, it's been a month since I've done this series. I just don't remember who's in what car. Zachary Fitzwater fell back tremendously in the 59 as he overshot the final corner that last lap. And I believe he's back to 8th right now in the number 59. John Arndt actually moved up a position, but he's quite a ways behind our leaders of Chris Skinlart and Donovan Duthit. And both of these guys know that they can win a championship, and that's the NRLOA Endurance Cup here. And that, if I do return this series, we'll get a reserve if you win the NRLOA Endurance Cup. So Skinlart and Duthit both battling for that, and they come into this race the top 2 in points in the Endurance Cup, and they're running 1-2 right now. Skinlart in the number 4, drafting behind the number 7. He is closing in fast here on Donovan Duthit, so Skinlart might take the lead here shortly. In my favorite ride, by the way. Love Corvette racing. It's been way too long since I've seen an IMSA race, though, because I've always been busy when they've been racing. So haven't been able to really see a WeatherTech Sports Car Championship race lately. And I'm probably going to miss Le Mans tomorrow because I'm going to my graduation. Hooray. I'm not looking forward to it, let me just say that. But, hey, enough about that. We're here to talk about racing in this Kubota GT Championship. It's a 5.5-second lead that Donovan Duthit has on John Arndt right now. So that's how much of a gap that John Arndt is behind these guys. And that's what happens when you get a guy that overshoot that wall. They all have to stop so they don't hit him. And what happened in GT Daytona in the first lap of the race when Caleb Hoffman overshot the chicane. Got a gap in the GT Daytona class, as you can see here. There is the number 36. Pretty sure that's the 36. No, that's the 64, I think. Oh, boy. It's been so long since I've done this series. I can't even remember what cars these are. Yeah, it's a 64. I'm fairly sure that's Sergio Larva and Alonso. There's Eli Bright, Julius Anderson, Nick Smith. That's Eric Powers, Christian Master in the 45. No, sorry, Matt Delio in the 45. My goodness, Christian Master drove the 45 in the Kubota GT, or in the Kubota Sports Car Championship in the end of 2016. That's why I thought that was Christian Master. That's not Christian Master, that's Matt Delio. Matt Delio, fresh off his win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at Rockingham. I'm not sure if he's going to get a win here today, however, because he does have significant damage to that number 45 machine. Anyways, Cody Smart, he has damage right now in the number 20. Of all the guys still running, or at least in this pack in GT Le Mans, he is at the end of the field, so he's going to have to see how that all shakes out. Donovan Duthit did not get in the pit lane well, and he's having some issues, as you can see. But John Arndt gets in just fine, and our leader in GT Le Mans coming down the pit lane very poorly. You see the damage to his race car there in the number 7. That's unfortunate for Donovan Duthit. He was going to win this race if it weren't for that incident, most likely. But unfortunately, his day is going to end, because you probably cannot continue with that kind of front-end damage in this race. Anyways, John Arndt coming down the pit lane. Now, Chris Skinlar was the only driver to stay out in GT Le Mans, and that concerns me because I'm not sure if he can make it the whole way without having to come in before this lap is over. But John Arndt, he's going to get a major advantage here in the number 2. Going to get around Blaine Keys. He comes off the pit lane first of the GT Le Mans guys, and we'll just have to see how it all plays out. Leaders in GT Daytona are coming in, and Thomas Troxel with a great jump on Philip Goldberg. Troxel, who started on the pole for this race, is looking pretty good. The pole sitters in GT Daytona have not been doing too well this season. I believe the only pole sitter to win the race was Caleb Hoffman at Lime Rock. But Thomas Troxel is trying to get the win from the pole for only the second time this season in GT Daytona. Philip Goldberg runs in the the second position right now. Tristan Allen up to third. Julio Caesar and Elijah Gordon, who's a GT Le Mans car, had already made his first pit stop. And he is actually in the mix of all these GT Daytona cars right now. There's Tyler Lyman, who rounds out the top 5 in that class. Back up the GT Le Mans in the number 4 and the number 23. Isaac Nichols also stayed out in the number 23. They were the only 2 drivers in GT Le Mans to stay out that lap. But I just don't know if they're going to be the leaders once this whole thing cycles through. Now, Chris Skidlard had a pretty big lead on John Arndt before the first cycle of pit stops began. So I would almost assume that Chris Skinlart would win the race off the pit lane ahead of John Arndt and still be the leader, but he's been out on this racetrack with worn tires a whole lap longer than John Arndt. And a lap here at Le Mans is very long, and you can lose a lot of time on worn tires compared to guys on fresh tires on this racetrack in just one lap. Number 4 still leading, but expect Skinlart and the 23 of Isaac Nichols to come down the pit lane this lap, and it may relinquish the lead to the number 2 of John Arndt, but we're just going to have to see. Blaine Keys right behind him. Blaine Keys has a chance of winning this race here today. And the number 10, who I think comes into this race 15, no, I think he comes into this race 16 points behind the points that are Cody Smart. Now, if Blaine Keys were to have started on the pole for this race, Keys would have a slim chance at the championship, but Keys did not start on the pole, so Blaine Keys is out of the championship hunt, but still does not mean he should not go for the win. I believe he started on the pole at VIR and did not get the win there, and the guy who won VIR is Jordan Carter. He's right now third of these guys who came in on lap 3 of the race. Anyways, Chris Skinlart, we should expect this number 4 to come down the pit lane this time. And I believe that he is going to do so. He's slowing down and coming down the pit lane. It's a tough pit lane to enter here at Circuit de la Sarthe. And the number 4 is going to spin that thing around just like Donovan Duthit did. As you can see, it is really hard. These guys come in at full speed, and they can't really seem to get back on the racetrack. So Skinlart is going to have a major issue there. And that just basically opens up the door for John Arndt. Isaac Nichols also doing the same, and he's not going to get back out onto the pit lane. So the 4 and the 23, neither of them get on the pit lane, and I believe the reason why they did not get on the pit lane well is because their tires were so worn. They came in, they could not grip their tires well, and Skinlart and Nichols might be out of the race because of that incident on the pit lane. It's one unfortunate thing about this racetrack. When they come into the pit lane, lots of times they screw it up. But John Art did not screw it up, and he is now the leader in GTLM after Skinlart and Nichols have their issues. And the number 2 having a good race right now here, looking to grab the championship for GTLM, the 2017 Kubota GT Championship. Blaine Keys, Jordan Carter, Emerson Sheets, and Nicholas Samadillo round out the top 5 in this class. Cody Smart is running... shows him running in 10th, but he has gotten around the 4, so I believe he's running in the 9th place right now in GT Le Mans. Anyways, GT Daytona is still led by the 71. Philip Goldberg in the 55. As long as he gets a good run here, he's going to be the champion. But if he has an issue like Skinlart or Nichols had, Caleb Hoffman might still have a chance of winning this thing. But if this 55 especially finishes in the top 5, Philip Goldberg is going to win this championship. He's probably good if he finishes in the top 10 for this race as well. You see Caleb Hoffman next to last. That awards you 2 points towards the championship. So that means that Philip Goldberg would need to gain, let me see here, 11 points, at least 11 points in this race. Goldberg does not have the tiebreaker of Caleb Hoffman, so he needs to gain at least 12 points. So he needs to have at least 12 points in this race. And that's about midway through the field in GT Daytona. So Goldberg, as long as he finishes in the top 10, Goldberg's going to be the champion. So it's pretty well determined in GT Daytona right now. And only because Caleb Hoffman crashed on the first lap of the race. Now Tristan Allen, he's trying to get around Philip Goldberg here. And I believe the 72 is going to be able to do it through the chicane. So a pass for second. But Philip Goldberg, what he needs to do is race a clean race. You saw what happened to Caleb Hoffman earlier on. You know, Goldberg is now in the championship position. He does not need to go for the win. He's probably going to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup as well, because he comes into this race the points leader in that championship, and he's currently running 3rd. So he's looking to get the sweep, and I'm fairly sure that he's going to be able to do so. Goldberg, 17 points. William Brock was the guy behind him. 16 points towards the championship for Brock in the NRLOA Endurance Cup. Eli Bright's 4 points behind in the NRLOA Endurance Cup. And then Caleb Hoffman, Tyler Lyman. They're all those guys. They're behind Philip Goldberg right now. But Goldberg in the position to win the Drivers' Championship at GT Daytona and the NRLOA Endurance Cup as well. So Goldberg definitely showing the way in this class. Back up front to GT Le Mans. We did see Blaine Keys closing in on John Arndt there earlier on, but John Arndt has stayed out front in the number 2. And same thing for Arndt. He's looking to get the Drivers' Championship, but I don't think he's in contention to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup. He only has 6 points towards that championship. John Arndt does not have a chance to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup. Cody Smart, however, does. And if Smart gets a really good run here today, he might be able to win it. But Skinlart is out of the race, and Duthit, the pole sitter's out of the race. And if they both knock out, neither of those guys might gain any points. And you might be looking at Jordan Carter possibly winning the NRLOA Endurance Cup, because he's only 7 points behind Chris Skinlart. And there is no tiebreaker, I do believe. Okay, there is a tiebreaker for that championship. And, you know, I think Chris Skinlart would have it on Jordan Carter. But still, Carter with a good chance at possibly winning the NRLOA Endurance Cup if Skinlart does not finish in the top 10 for this race. If Skinlart does finish in the top 10, I don't think Carter's going to have a chance. But if the number 4 falls outside the top 10, which he should fall outside the top 10 once these guys cycle through to complete lap 5... Matter of fact, yeah, you're going to see the 59. He's going to pass the 4, and Cody Smart's going to pass the 4 as well. And Elijah Gordon, he's accumulated some damage to his race car. He's also going to pass the 4. So there's going to be 10 guys in GT Le Mans right now. There are 10 guys in GT Le Mans on the racetrack. That's going to push Chris Skinlart outside the top 10. So that means if Skinlart finishes outside the top 10 for this race, he does not gain any points towards the NRLOA Endurance Cup. Donovan Duthit is also outside. Cody Smart right now would gain 2 points. That's not enough to surpass Skinlart. But for Jordan Carter, he would gain 8 points where he is running right now, and he would then have 19 points towards the NRLOA Endurance Cup, which would surpass him past Chris Skinlart in the points. And the way they're currently running, Jordan Carter would be the NRLOA Endurance Cup champion. So it's very interesting at GT Le Mans, the way these guys are battling for that cup. But it's only a 3-race championship, and only the top 10 get points in each race. So it's definitely a small championship. But still, nonetheless, it's very big. You know, Jordan Carter with a chance of getting a championship. Not the Drivers' Championship, but the NRLOA Endurance Cup. And that's definitely something to be proud of if Jordan Carter can, in fact, pull that off. Carter has been very quiet this season up until his win at VIR. And to get the championship in the Endurance Cup would definitely be a big thing for that team. But the way things are going, it's going to be John Arndt, the Drivers' Championship in GT Le Mans. And the NRLOA Endurance Cup champion in GT Le Mans would be Jordan Carter. But Carter cannot lose this position to Emerson Sheets. If Carter falls back to 4th, they would be tied, and I believe Skinlart would have the tiebreaker on Jordan Carter, I think. I could be wrong about that, though. I'm fairly sure Chris Skinlart has finished ahead of Jordan Carter in the 2 previous Endurance Cup races. If Skinlart has, in fact, done so, then Skinlart's going to be the champion for the NRLOA Endurance Cup. If Emerson Sheets passes Jordan Carter for the 3rd position. But right now, the way they're running, Jordan Carter would have 19 points at the end of the race in the Endurance Cup, and that would surpass him by the 4 of Chris Skinlart. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say there. I took way too long trying to explain it. Anyways, John Arndt still up front in the number 2. He's going for his 3rd win of the season. Looking to get a 3rd of the season 1 for this team. John Arndt has done a really good job. He could have won Sebring. He started on the pole at Sebring at the beginning of the season. Cody Smart ended up winning that race. And John Arndt, he could have won that race. He fell back to 10th. And who knows, John Arndt, I mean, he really has been doing a great job this season. Pretty sure John Arndt won at Canadian Tire and Road America. And when he won Road America, he started last in the field in his class. So John Arndt definitely showed the way at Road America. And that performance at Road America is definitely what helped him get into this position he is in today for the finale race. So John Arndt with a great chance of winning the championship. Cody Smart is 9th. But this thing is far from over. Dane Ammon in the number 40 is still out there as well with a chance. He's running 6th. So all 3 of the championship contenders in GT Le Mans are still running on the racetrack. And we've seen these guys have a lot of issues in this race, especially entering the pit lane. These Le Mans guys, they come in so fast, their tires are worn, they just don't get the grip, and they slide through the gravel trap. And that could happen to John Arndt. If that happens to John Arndt, then Cody Smart, the way they're running, would be the champion. But you got Dane Ammon there. If he gains 1 more position, Ammon would win. Because Ammon and Arndt, they both have the tiebreaker on Cody Smart. And John Arndt has the tiebreaker on Dane Ammon. So this is going to be a high-speed chess match, especially if John Arndt messes up and fails to finish this race. If that happens, it's going to be between Ammon and Smart. And the way they're running, that's going to be really tight. But, let's not get ahead of ourselves. John Arndt has not had a mistake, and John Arndt is easily winning the championship at the moment. But at the moment, we're not even halfway through this race yet. But we're going to be, I think, halfway down this backstretch. I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're about halfway once we get halfway through this lap. But anyways, back down the GT Daytona. We've been talking about Le Mans for quite a while, and the GT Daytona guys are coming back down the pit lane again. You see Philip Goldberg, he's in. Julio Caesar, Tyler Lyman, the 16. 21 of Al Lagasse. Forget who drives the 16. Cody Sill drives the 16. I said on last Wednesday, I think, when he won the Las Vegas race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, that was his first career win. Well, I was actually wrong about that. Cody Sill won Long Beach earlier this season, in the Kubota GT Championship. That was his first career win. Actually, no, it wasn't his first career win because he actually had won in the Hers Elimination Series as well. And Cody Sill is now a 3-time winner on Napa Fan after getting that win in Las Vegas last Wednesday in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race at Las Vegas. Of course. Apologize if my announcing isn't the greatest for this race, and mainly it's because it's a little bit early for me to be doing it. My throat is dry right now. It's hard for me to announce my throat is dry. And I haven't done a race in this series in like, how long has it been? Like a month? 4 weeks. It's been a long time since I've done a race here in the Kubota GT Championship. Let me just tell you that. But hey, it's the finale race, the last race of the year for this series. And we might get a very good fight to the finish in each of these classes. Now, Thomas Troxell is yet to come in. Same with Victor Delgado, Devin Cook, Nick Smith. I don't know if Tristan Allen came in or not. I'm fairly sure he did. Let me see here. And the 72 did, yeah. Tristan Allen definitely came down the pit lane, and Allen is pulling away from Philip Goldberg right now. So that's good news for Allen. He might have a chance of winning this race. But Philip Goldberg, like I said earlier, he just needs to race a clean race. If he finishes in the top 10, he's the driver's champion in GT Daytona. Tristan Allen, first off the pit lane. Still have these 4 guys ahead of him to come down. And Thomas Troxell was the leader once this cycle began. And he is still yet to come down the pit lane. Back to GT Le Mans. This is going to be a very pivotal moment in the race. I'm pretty sure these guys are going to come down for their second stop right now. And John Arndt, these guys, they better be careful coming in the pit lane. Those tires, they're worn. It's going to be tough coming in if the speeds these guys come in. John Arndt, it looks like he's going to come in, but Blaine Keys is going to stay out. Nope, they're actually all coming down the pit lane. And John Arndt's around in the number 2. I just knew this was going to happen. They're having such a hard time getting down this pit lane. And John Arndt's not going to be able to avoid this one. I cannot believe it. The Le Mans guys are coming in way too fast into this pit lane. There's Fitzwater in the number 59. It looks like Fitzwater's going to get through okay, but Cody Smart slid through. Oh, brother. We're not going to have any Le Mans guys left in this race once this thing is over. You see John Arndt, the damage to his race car. I mean, I don't know how to fix this problem, but the lead's going to go to Blaine Keys. And you know who's actually still out there? Dane Ammon in the number 40. So now Ammon is in the championship lead in the GT Le Mans Championship. John Arndt and Cody Smart both involved in this crash. And I think the way this whole thing's going to play out is that John Arndt's going to finish 1 position ahead of Cody Smart. So that means that Arndt is out in the number 2. But Smart still has a chance in the 20 if something happens to Dane Ammon. Devin Cook with an issue in the number 6. And I would like to apologize to these guys in the GT Le Mans class for this happening. But, you know, my explanation for this happening is that the tires are worn, the cars are much faster, they're trying to get the grip on the pit lane. When they make that turn, they just lose it. And they're just having a very hard time. It does appear that Cody Smart will actually get back out into the racetrack, and I did see John Arndt actually, his hood came off. I believe the crew taking the hood off of that race car, so I believe they are anticipating coming back out into the racetrack to salvage some points. And just as I say that, they go to the garage. So John Arndt is out of the race. Cody Smart did change tires there. He is going to come back out into the racetrack, so Cody Smart still has a chance at this championship. You know, Cody Smart, he really, really wants to win this championship. I can tell you because he's led in the points the whole season. And to lose the championship on the final race of the season after dominating the whole season is just majorly disappointing for anybody. And Cody Smart on the verge of his first ever Napa Fan Championship. It could be here today at Le Mans. But Dane Ammon in the number 40. Trying to see where he currently is running. Ammon is running 5th right now in the number 40 behind Sam Adio, Sheets. Jordan Carter looking to go 2 in a row here in the Kubota GT Championship for GT Le Mans. But it's Blaine Keys leading the field right now in this class. Ammon's running 5th. Then it's Josh Crash, Zachary Fitzwater, and I believe Cody Smart runs in the 8th position. Where is Cody Smart? There's Cody Smart. He's running 8th right now, I do believe. Actually, sorry, he's running 9th. Elijah Gordon is ahead of him. So, right now, Dane Ammon, who does have the tiebreaker on Cody Smart, by the way, because Ammon has finished, and of course he has to finish ahead of Cody Smart in this race to win the championship. So if that happens, Ammon would have finished ahead of Cody Smart in 5 of the 9 races. That's the second tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker is wins. They both have 2 wins this season. And the second tiebreaker is how many times you finished ahead of the other driver. And if you finished ahead of the other driver more times than not, I should say, then that's the second tiebreaker. And Ammon, if he finishes ahead of Cody Smart in this race, he would have finished ahead of Cody Smart in 5 of 9 races this season if they tied in the points. And they would tie in the points the way they're currently running. So right at this very moment, Dane Ammon would be the champion in GT Le Mans. John Hart is unfortunately out of the race, I do believe, after coming down the pit lane and sliding. We've seen many guys, about half the field in GT Le Mans, do this, and this is kind of a similar incident to the tire issue in the United States Grand Prix. I believe it was 2004, I think, and that's kind of what's happening here. So these kind of things, they happen sometimes, but there's not much I can do about it. And these Le Mans guys, are just coming down the pit lane too fast. They are in control of their race cars, but I think their tires are just too warm to make that turn down the pit lane, and they just lose it. And I can't help them driving into the pit wall either. Anyways, this whole thing will cycle through the Blaine Keys being the leader right now in GT Le Mans. Then it's Jordan Carter, Emerson Sheets, Nicholas Samadillo, a dark horse for this one. It's been a while since he's raced here on Napa Fan. It's been since, it was actually 3 weeks ago in the Indianapolis 250. He's not in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series this season, but he will be racing tomorrow morning in the NRLOA Big One. These guys going to fly over to Massachusetts and get that race done. Which reminds me, I got to record that thing as well. Oh boy. And I got to edit it. And I also have to, I still, at this point, Sunday, June 11th, I still have to edit the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race in Rockingham. Of course, you guys have already seen that. I got to record this race. I got to edit this race that you're seeing right now. Then I got to record the big one and edit the big one. And on top of all of that, I work 3 days. And I have a beach trip on Thursday. The only day I have free is Tuesday to record. Now, I can edit before I go to work and all that, but recording before I go to work is a little bit tougher because everybody's still in the house and they're busy and all that, and I don't really want to bother them. And two, it's harder for me to record early in the morning because I have a lot of allergies, and it stuffs myself up, and I get all dry in the throat like I am now. It's not really comfortable right now to be announcing this, but you know what? I'm doing this for you guys. But still, it's going to be a busy week for me. I'm either going to be at work, at the beach, or in front of my computer recording these races. Either that or sulking over the fact that the Pittsburgh Penguins have probably won the Stanley Cup over the Nashville Predators. I'm really upset about that. I can't stand Pittsburgh. I hate the Penguins. And, you know, I like the Predators. They're probably my favorite team. And I made that determination this year when they were really good in the playoffs. But I got many reasons to like them. I mean, Caleb Hoffman, poor old guy, he crashed in this race. He's a really good friend of mine. Pretty sure he lives near Nashville, from Tennessee. I got family in Tennessee. I mean, Mike Fisher's awesome. You know, I love Nashville. And they're now my new favorite team no matter what happened in the Stanley Cup. So, yeah. Anyways, there's William Brock. He almost hit the pit road wall there coming down the pit lane. And he's got a chance, a slight chance, at winning the NRLOA Endurance Cup in this race. Or in this season, I should say. He needs to finish in the top 10 and finish ahead of Philip Goldberg to tie with him at least. But Goldberg is right now still running in the 3rd position in GT Daytona. So I do not see that happening. You see Goldberg there in the number 55. Thomas Troxel, he is out to a pretty big lead right now. In GT Daytona, Tristan Allen in the 72 has fallen back. He might have hit the end, or hit the wall, hit the wall on the last corner of the racetrack, I should say. And I believe that's why he fell back in the 72. So it's now Thomas Troxel back out front in Le Mans, or in the GT Daytona class at Le Mans. Philip Goldberg's up to second right now in the 55, and then it's Tyler Lyman, the Sebring winner, currently running in the third position. But Blaine Key's still out front in GTLM. But the championship is definitely a very big focus right now. Cody Smart actually, he's actually still on the lead lap. He is 25th overall. I'm trying to figure out where he is in GTLM. There's 7. 1, 2. He is 10th right now. So actually, at the moment, Dane Ammon would have a 1-point lead on the number 20 of Cody Smart exiting this race. So that's good news for Ammon, but we saw what happened to John Arndt. We saw what happened to Cody Smart. It might happen to Dane Ammon as well. And it probably will because I said so. But Dane Ammon, right now, the way they're running, would be the champion in GT Le Mans. So Ammon probably had the least chance of all these guys. He was not the points leader, and he kind of started deep in the field, but somehow, some way, he finds himself in this position about 2/3 of the way through the finale race. Josh Crash running in the 6th position, and that's Zachary Fitzwater running 7th. And then you got the GT Daytona leader of Thomas Troxel here with Philip Goldberg. And the way Goldberg's running in this race, he is definitely going to win the Drivers' Championship and the NRLOA Endurance Cup. We already went over that earlier on. A great run for Philip Goldberg here today at Le Mans. And yeah, that's how it's been going here in this race. It's been a crash-filled race, especially entering the pit lane. And that's been the issue here today in the 1 hour de Le Mans, the finale race in season number 2 of the Kubota GT Championship, the 2017 edition. Now, these Le Mans cars are all still kind of on each other here, considering how long this race is in. All 6 of our leaders here, they're just a straight away from each other. See Fitzwater back in there as well. But all 6 of these guys still have a chance of winning this race, I do believe. And, of course, Ammon, he's in the championship position right now. He does not want Josh Crash to pass him here, but Crash is closing in him, the number 49. He might try to do it in the chicane. He's going to. Nope. I thought he was going to get to the inside. He did not. It's very hard to make a pass through this chicane. We saw that in the Air Electric Pro Series race back in April. A lot of guys, they tried to make passes entering that second chicane. They were not able to do so. So if you see somebody trying to make a pass there, they're most likely not going to be able to make it work. But Josh Crash, I mean, he's going to get a run here on Dane Ammon and try to get around him. And that's not what Ammon wants, because if Ammon falls one more position, he's in tie with Cody Smart in the point standings. He still would be the champion, but Cody Smart is closing in right now on Isaac Nichols, I do believe, back in the field. And Smart has a chance, I do believe, at possibly getting around Nichols. And if Smart gains one position and Ammon loses one position, Cody Smart's the champion. It's a high-speed chess match here at Le Mans in the GT Le Mans class of the Kubota GT Championship. But right now, Dane Ammon still will hold a 1-point lead ahead of Cody Smart. And it's just going to come down to how they finish in this race to who wins the championship. And there is our leader, the 71 of Thomas Troxel, leader in GT Daytona. Having a nice race here at Le Mans. It's been the dominant guy and has not had any issues on pit lane. So if you don't have any issues on pit lane, you're most likely going to do pretty good. But Philip Goldberg looking to win the championship. He won at Road America, and unfortunately for Caleb Hoffman, it looks like this one's going to slip away because of his incident on lap 1 of the race. But Philip Goldberg is thankful for it, because that's going to put him in the championship position that he needs to be in. I believe we saw some guys come down the pit lane last time, possibly. Nope, nobody's down the pit lane. Something might have happened to Tyler Lyman in the number 98. I do not see him. He might have overshot the final corner. Probably been seeing a lot of that today. We just really haven't been focusing on it too much. Blaine Keys is still out front, and Josh Crash is going to hit that pit road wall a little bit. That's going to slow him down. That's exactly what Dane Ammon wants to see. Does not want to see that 49 right behind him. And Ammon still running in the 5th position here at Le Mans. 5 laps to go here at Circuit de la Sarthe in the final race of the season in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship. 2/3 of the way through this race. This race. I merged those two words together. I'm sorry. I'm sounding weird now. Like I said, it's really hard to announce when my voice is all dry, my throat is all dry, and I just remembered the Canadian Grand Prix is coming on. I'm gonna turn that Lewis Hamilton show on. Oh, my TV, gotta plug it in. Little plug-in thing on my TV like has some issues with it, so it's kind of like hard to keep it plugged in, but it still works. I got it for $5 at a yard sale 2 years ago, and I like it. I can actually watch this race, but let's keep it on while we get this race recorded. Oh, they're already... Man, they weren't lying when they said it was 2 p.m., were they? They only got a safety car? What happened? Oh, well. Anyways, Blaine Keys is still out front. Jordan Carter. Oh, is that Lance Stroll? Probably, I think that is Lance Stroll. Oh! One of the Toro Rosso cars got involved. Huh. Oh, Verstappen's second. That's nice. Of course, Lewis Hamilton's going to win. Oh, that's actually Felipe Massa. That's Massa. It looks like Lance Stroll. I think it might be his teammate. I don't know Formula One that much. What happened? Oh my. That didn't look good. But anyways, we've seen a lot of that here today. A lot of crashing here today at Le Mans. A lot of crashing in the Canadian Grand Prix. Anyways, up from the number 10 of Blaine Keys. Jordan Carter, Emerson Sheath are right on each other here, so we're going to have one more pit stop in this race, I do believe. It's probably going to come this next lap. We're just going to have to see how this all shakes out. But number 71 of Thomas Troxel, he is gone. Of course, he's probably only gone because I believe the rest of the field has come down and made pit stops. Philip Goldberg got out ahead of all the guys he came down with, I do believe. So that's good news for Goldberg. He's going to stay in the second position once this whole thing cycles through. Tristan Allen has also stayed out, but I believe... Yeah, I don't believe Tristan Allen has made a pit stop, or made his third pit stop yet in this race, so Tristan Allen still has to come down. So that's going to give second to Philip Goldberg once this whole thing cycles through. And Thomas Troxel, I mean, he's got such a big lead anyway. He should be able to get off the pit lane, the leader, and probably win this race. Anyways, I think the Le Mans guys are going to be coming in here soon. Blaine Keys, Jordan Carter. And Jordan Carter, he's probably going to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup if he does not screw up this pit stop here. And if he can, in fact, do that, definitely be a very big accomplishment for this team. Anyways, going to expect these guys to come down right now. Blaine Keys, Jordan Carter, Emerson Sheets, Nicholas Samadillo, and Dane Ammon. And there they go. The leaders around. Blaine Keys, the leader has gone around every single time so far. But Jordan Carter gets away with it. Oh my goodness, Emerson Sheets trying to pass him on the pit lane, and Sheets goes around the 38. Dane Ammon also gets through okay. That is great news for Ammon if he wants to win this championship. Josh Crash as well, but Blaine Keys with an issue. And that is going to lose Blaine Keys the race in this 1 hour event at Le Mans. And it's been a long one for some guys. They just keep on overshooting that pit lane, and they just keep on coming in with too much speed. That's the issue, and they just lose it when they turn. Emerson Sheets in the 27 is going to get out ahead of the 38 of Jordan Carter. Nicholas Samadillo is going to be third. Dane Ammon's going to be fourth. That's exactly what Ammon wants, because Ammon needs to finish 4 positions ahead of Cody Smart, and every position makes it easier for him to win this championship. So Ammon off 4th. Zachary Fitzwater, I believe, is going to be 5th. Josh Crash is going to be 6th. And those are the only 6 guys still left in contention in GT Le Mans. Thomas Troxel getting through just fine, and Troxel is going to come down the pit lane for his final pit stop of the race. Most likely, this will be the final pit stop of the race for these guys. Expect Tristan Allen to come in here in the number 72. And I believe once he comes in, that's going to give second place to Philip Goldberg in the number 55. Goldberg has already made his stop. And you see the number 72 coming in. Isaac Nichols also coming in as well. And Nichols is going to get around the 72 on the pit lane. That's exactly what we saw with Emerson Sheets getting around Jordan Carter there. Trying to find... Who is that? That's Blaine Keys. He's actually getting back out there on the racetrack. There's Cody Smart. He's coming in for his final pit stop here. Now, Blaine Keys did get back out there on the racetrack, but if Blaine Keys were to have gotten eliminated from that incident, Cody Smart might have gained some positions, but Smart is still running in the 10th position in GT Le Mans right now. So, Smart has not pulled away with this thing, and Ammon is in the best position running 4th. But it's Emerson Sheets leading the field right now in GT Le Mans, the number 27. We'll see how they came off in GT Daytona. And very simply, Thomas Troxel just drives away from these guys. He's out of here in the number 71. Got a massive lead right now on Philip Goldberg. But Philip Goldberg is probably going to win this championship in both the Drivers' Championship and the NRLOA Endurance Cup. So I'm not seeing too much of an issue from this 55 in today's event. But Thomas Troxel really laying it out on the line and just doing a great job here at Le Mans in GT Daytona. And it looks like Emerson Sheets is going to be the lucky guy here today. And at number 27, Sheets is going for his first career win on Napa Fan. And for it to be at Le Mans is a pretty special thing. Got Daytona, got Indianapolis, and you got Le Mans. Those are probably the 3 biggest racetracks we go to on this channel. And I'm pretty sure these guys are definitely looking forward to possibly getting this victory and celebrating it here today on that number 27 team. Jordan Carter still second. Carter in the position to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup. And a great run by Nicholas Samadio here today in the number 13. And there's your most likely champion in GT Le Mans, Dane Ammon in the number 40, who is ahead of Cody Smart right now by, I think, 6 positions in the class, which means that Dane Ammon would take it away and win the championship. John R. came into this race only 2 points behind Cody Smart, but he crashed out midway through, and that's what's going to most likely give this championship to the number 40 of Dane Ammon. Emerson Sheets still leading, and you see Thomas Troxel back in here as the leader right now in GT Daytona. It's 3 laps to go here in the 1 hour de Le Mans in the finale race in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship. Now, Jordan Carter, he still has a chance at getting this win. He's drafting this 27 right now. He might have a chance at passing him before this race is over. He's not too far behind. And Jordan Carter, going to be the most likely driver to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup. And he most likely will have a chance at getting this win. Of course, he's running second right now. He might get 2 wins in a row. He won the last race here in the Kubota GT Championship at the Virginia International Raceway. And he's currently running in the 2nd position behind Emerson Sheets. Now, he could have gotten the lead, but Emerson Sheets passed him on the pit lane, so very interesting scenario there. But Sheets might get the win on a pass on the pit lane. That's a very odd way to win, especially the way this thing has been going. But this thing is not over yet, and Jordan Carter might still get around this number 27 before this race is over. Dane Ammon looking to get his first ever Napa Fan Championship, and it's going to probably come in this series here today as he leads the championship on Cody Smart the way they're currently running. Cody Smart currently runs still in the 10th position in GT Le Mans. So Cody Smart 6 positions behind the number 40 of Dane Ammon. Dane Ammon only needed 4 positions ahead of Cody Smart to win the championship. And John Arndt crashed out, and he's not a factor anymore, so this number 40 looking to steal it away. Now, I know it might seem kind of odd, but we might end up with a little bit of fuel strategy at the end of this one. I'm not sure if these guys can make it to the end. I'm just not entirely sure. We're just going to have to see how it all shakes out, but we could see some guys come down while others stay out. It's possible. Now, in a long racetrack like this, it's kind of harder for that to happen, but it might happen. I just have a feeling it could happen. Just the way they came in there, I just have a feeling, okay? Excuse me, I'm tired, okay? I'm really tired and trying to figure out what's going on in this Formula 1 race. I mean, Hamilton's winning, of course, so not much must be happening, but still, it's like they're reviewing the start here, and we had a big crash between the Toro Rosso guy, Carlos Sainz. Oh, wow. We actually had 2. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. Romain Grosjean got in the... Was it... No, Carlos Sainz, I think. And then Sainz came up on Massa. And was somebody else involved? I don't know. I can't remember if somebody else was involved or not. Anyways, 2 laps to go here in the 1 hour de Le Mans. And Emerson Sheets leads the field in GT Le Mans. Second place is still Jordan Carter trying to close in, but I just don't see it happening at this point. Nicholas Amadio, Dane Ammon, the most likely champion in GT Le Mans here, and that's a tough one for Cody Smart. It led in the championship the whole season. Right at the finale race, he loses it, and most likely Cody Smart will not win the championship. Of course, we still have 2 laps to go. Something could happen to Dane Ammon before this race is over, but we're just going to have to see how it all shakes out. And there's your leader in GT Daytona, Thomas Troxel, putting on a show in this class. Right now the leader ahead of Philip Goldberg, who is going to be the most likely champion in GT Daytona. Emerson Sheets trying to lap one of these GT Daytona cars. I believe that is Nick Smith in the 75. No, actually, that's William Brock in number 1. But still, looks like Sheets is going to win this thing, with Carter running second right now, Nicholas Amadio in the 3rd position. Carter's going to get around William Brock here. And number 38 is going to have a clean racetrack ahead of him to Emerson Sheets. Number 13 here of Nicholas Amadio, excuse me there. Still running 3rd. Dane Ammon still running 4th. And the 59 is Zachary Fitzwater. Remember, he had an issue early on in this race. He hit the outside wall exiting the final corner. He's going to rebound to a top 5. It's a great run there for the number 59. Thomas Troxel just took 2 laps to go for GT Daytona. And there's Philip Goldberg quite a ways behind him. 6 seconds behind the leader in GT Daytona right now for Philip Goldberg. But he's still going to most likely be the champion after Caleb Hoffman crashed early on. We will review the crash that Caleb Hoffman had early on in the race, along with another crash that happened as well, involving Jordan Lopez. And I forget who else was involved in that one, but remember, Jordan Lopez was on the tires and in the catch fence. We'll review that crash along with the Caleb Hoffman incident at the end of the race. And then we'll have a little celebration for the champions here in the Kubota GT Championship. Emerson Sheets going around here. We'll see if he comes down the pit lane. It's possible that might happen in the number 27. But we're just going to have to see. If he comes down, this thing could get very crazy. He's not coming down, and that should be it. These guys should be able to make it to the end. Emerson Sheets is going to take the white flag in 1 hour de Le Mans. So 1 lap to go for the 27. Jordan Carter, second. Nicholas Amadio, third. It looks like that's going to be the podium here today. And GT Daytona, you see Thomas Troxley is the other end of the racetrack right now. And something happened to Max Verstappen. And it's Mercedes 1-2 yet again. All is correct in the world right now, I guess. Number 71 looking to take the white flag in GT Daytona. Now in GT Daytona, these guys might have to come down the pit lane again. It's possible, especially guys like Philip Goldberg. Now, if that were to happen, Goldberg might slip up a little bit and slip down the standings in this race. I don't see it happening. I really think these guys can make it to the end without having to come down again. So we're just going to have to see how it all shakes out. I know I say it all the time. I got to admit, this race has not been the most entertaining races I've done in my life. So I'm just trying to talk while my voice and my mouth is really dry. And it's very uncomfortable. That's why I've been having long pauses. But, looks like Eli Bright came down the pit lane the lap before, but I think he had some damage, so I'm not entirely sure if he's really on the same cycle as the leaders in GT Daytona, but we're following here with the number 71. The leader in GT Daytona right now. He's going to take the white flag next time by, only unless he comes down the pit lane here, and if he does, this can majorly shake some things up. And he's going to stay out in number 71, so Thomas Troxel most likely going to win in that class, and Emerson Sheets in the 27 looking to grab his first career victory on Napa Fan. It looks like he's going to probably pull it off here in the 1 hour de Le Mans. Great run for the number 27. Of course, a lot of it was luck. A lot of the guys ahead of him had issues coming into the pit lane. And the guy we should be focusing on is this guy, Dane Almond in the number 40. He's going to take the championship home. And that is after Cody Smart led in the championship the whole season up to this race. But in the final race of the season, it looks like it is going to end. And Dane Ammons going to steal it away from the number 20 team and win the Kubota GT Le Mans Championship here today at Le Mans. Emerson Sheets looking to grab his first career victory on Napa Fan, and it coming at Circuit de la Sarthe, a very massive road course. It's the biggest racetrack we go to on Napa Fan. And, definitely a very special place, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a special one for Emerson Sheets in the Kubota GT Championship. The finale race of the season wasn't the best of seasons for this 27 team, but Sheets is going to be able to pull it off, and Jordan Carter is going to win the NRLOA Endurance Cup as well, so congratulations to him on that. And when this series returns to 2018, Jordan Carter will be returning along with Dane Ammon. They will both get reserves for winning their respective championships. Anyways, the number 27, Emerson Sheets, just a couple more corners to go. And he's going to take home the victory in a 1 hour de Le Mans here at Circuit de la Sarthe. And here we go. The season is over. And GT Le Mans in the 1 hour de Le Mans is going to go to Emerson Sheets. He wins here at Circuit de la Sarthe. And the champion in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship for GT Le Mans is going to be Dane Ammon in the number 40, crossing the line fourth here at Le Mans. He's going to beat out Cody Smart. And there's your champion in GT Le Mans. Dane Ammon does it here for 2017. Jordan Carter will win the NRLOA Endurance Cup for GT Le Mans as well, so congratulations to Carter on that championship in that class. As for GT Daytona, Philip Goldberg in the number 55 still runs in the second position, And that means that he is going to win the Drivers' Championship ahead of Caleb Hoffman, and also win the NRLOA Endurance Cup as well for GT Daytona. But it's Thomas Troxel in the number 71. Only a couple more corners to go, and he is going to be the winner of this race. He started on the pole, a very dominating performance in this class for the 71 team. And it's going to be a while before he crosses the line because there was such a gap between the GT Le Mans guys and the GT Daytona guys. And the GT Daytona guys did not get lapped in this race like they did at Watkins Glen. So the GT Daytona guys running the full 15 laps of the race. They only ran 39 laps at Watkins Glen. But the number 71. Just a couple more corners to go, and he is going to be the winner of this race. Thomas Troxel for GT Daytona is going to win it in GT Daytona in the 1 hour de Le Mans, the finale race going to the 71 here at Circuit de la Sarthe. And a little ways behind, there's your champion. As long as he finishes this race, Philip Goldberg will win the GT Daytona Championship as well as the NRLOA Endurance Cup for GT Daytona. There's a few more corners to go. And there he is, Philip Goldberg, with help from Caleb Hoffman crashing in this race, will win the GT Daytona Championship in the Kubota GT Championship for 2017. The race is over. The season is over. Dane Ammon in GT Le Mans, Philip Goldberg in GT Daytona. A pivotal moment in the race was when Caleb Hoffman crashed out on the first lap of the race. Let's go ahead and review that crash and review another crash as well. Then we'll get to the official results of the 1 hour de Le Mans here at Circuit de la Sarthe. And this is what happened to the championship leader who came into this race. But he's going to lose the championship to Philip Goldberg because of this Caleb Hoffman just sliding it through the first chicane into the wall. And that's just going to end his day. Jay Jefferson also does the same thing. And they just pile up behind him. You can see Hoffman here, he kind of slides back up, actually does not get into Al Legacy, but I think Emmanuel Hartnett might have gotten a piece of this in the 60. You see all these guys kind of bunch up behind. And that was just a very unfortunate incident from Caleb Hoffman. Came into this race, the championship leader had a very big chance at winning the championship, but unfortunately for him, it's not going to happen. And this is what happened to Jordan Lopez on that same lap. Lopez overshot the final corner. He's in the gravel trap. He's going to hit this wall. And Sam Medeo avoids it. Alex Inero does not. And that's what sends the 15 over the tires and in the catch fence. Very unfortunate break for those guys on lap 1 of the race. But there's your champion in GT Le Mans for the Kubota GT Championship in 2017. Dane Ammon does it. The NRLOA Endurance Cup champion for GT Le Mans is Jordan Carter. And in GT Daytona, it's a sweep for the championships. The Drivers' Championship and the NRLOA Endurance Cup going to Philip Goldberg and the number 55. But anyways, a long race here. It was rather, well, it was crazy. Let me tell you that. It was very crazy, but not much passing on the racetrack. But the guy who stood on the pole for this race wasn't in the top 10 in GT Le Mans. That was Donovan Dufit, who crashed because he had an issue coming down the pit lane. Emerson Sheets, the winner. Jordan Carter, Nicholas Samedeo, Dane Ammon, and Zachary Fitzwater, the top 5 in GT Le Mans. And then it's Emerson Sheets' first career victory here on NapaFan, I should say. And there are the rest of the results right there. Quite a few guys knocked out, a lot of them probably because they did not get down the pit lane correctly. And you see John Arndt, 29th overall. He was going to win this championship if it were not for his pit road issue, but unfortunately he crashed. And the number 40 of Dane Ammon does it in GT Le Mans. And Philip Goldberg does it in GT Daytona. Your champions here in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching this whole season. I enjoyed it most of the way. This race I didn't really enjoy too much because we're already in the heart of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series now, and that's really what I want to focus on. But I had this to do, and I went through and did it for you guys. So we would have an official finale, and Emerson Sheets gets the win with Dane Ammon winning the championship at GTLM. Thomas Troxel gets the win as well in GT Daytona with Philip Goldberg, the champion in that class. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Here are the point standings for the Kubota GT Championship, the finale, the final, I should say, point standings for the Kubota GT Championship. And that is it for me. So, congratulations to Dane Ammon and Philip Goldberg, your two champions here in the 2017 Kubota GT Championship in GTLM and GT Daytona, respectively. And that is it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the NRLOA Big 1-3. That should be a very entertaining race at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway, and you guys should enjoy it. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later. Congratulations to our champions, Dane Ammon and Philip Goldberg. From the heavens to the ocean floor. Stars